Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post.
Hey, good evening, Facebook family. Welcome to another episode of Post Daily Dose with me, your trusted parenting advisor, faithful guide, and servant on the healing journey. What's my name? Big Papa Bryan+Post. Happy day before Christmas Eve, everyone. I hope you are not running around in too frenzied of a rush buying all those gifts and presents and all those meals and different goodies and snacks that you'll be having with your family. And if you are, please remember to breathe, because I assure you there will be a lot of people in the grocery store who are not breathing. There'll be a lot of people in Walmart who are not breathing, and they are going to need your loving kindness, support, and understanding and regulation. Today's episode of Post Daily Dose brought to you by www.Post+Institute.com, bringing you cutting-edge parenting, support, and resources for over 20 years. So that's my new thing. Every episode of Post Daily Dose is now going to have a sponsor, even if it's Christy and I sponsoring the Daily Dose, unless you guys want to sponsor it and want me to mention you or your family or your business. So hello there, everyone. Hello, Mimi. Hello there, Kirsten from the Netherlands. I thought today we would talk about how deep does your river run? And what made me think about that is I was on a call this morning with one of my certified coaching students, and she was talking about a challenging situation that she's been having. And it was interesting because it's like, I've got this challenge around, how do you set limits or boundaries with kids that don't have trauma? And so one, I don't think I'm hard pressed to find any child who doesn't have some kind of trauma experience. And number two, if you have a parent who has experienced trauma, then that means the child has experienced trauma. It just means the experience is unconscious. Hello, Kathy, and thank you so much for the Merry Christmas greeting. But here's the reason of the topic is that it wasn't anything to do. Well, it had everything to do with limits and boundaries, but actually, as we dug in, the boundaries, the real issue with the boundaries ran all the way back and started. It's almost like the boundary invasion started when she was 3 years old. And it took us, about 5 minutes to kind of dig into that. But it's interesting. And I think the thing I want to have you, the seed I want to plant for you, that I've tried to plant many, many, many years now, is that emotional reactivity stems from unfinished business. The moment you find yourself being reactive to something or some person, it has far more to do with you and far less to do with them. And the thing is you've got to be willing to dig into that and ask yourself, where is this coming from? We're always, as we are growing in our humanness, we're always trying to grow and become more mindful. And that really is the only challenge. There's no judgment against your trauma history. And the thing is we usually judge our own traumas first. And you know that you're judging something when there's something you've experienced in your life that you don't want to deal with, that you don't like to talk about. Then you've typically judged it as something negative, and you try to deny it, and you try to move away from it. And it's funny because I was actually having a text exchange with another friend of mine the other evening who was packing to go on a trip. And she sent me a picture of her suitcases and said, I've still got a ton of stuff I've got to pack for this trip. And because I know a little bit about her history, instead of making light of it, and I approached this in a very light situation, I said, take a few deep breaths, tell yourself you're going to be okay, And then tell yourself you're going to be back home. Everything's going to be all right. And then look at your suitcase. And a little while later, it was like 10 minutes later, she sent me a picture of the suitcase that had gone from being completely stuffed to being perfectly organized with half the stuff in it. And, we don't realize how oftentimes we encounter emotional challenges in our lives that have deep roots at the bottom of our river. How deep does your river flow? Next time you think that some situation or some person is causing you angst and you're giving all your power to that person or that situation, I want you to stop. I want you to take those 3 to 10 deep breaths, put your hand on your chest, on your throat, maybe even on your stomach. Usually we hold our tension and our emotions in one of those 3 places, either in your throat, in the middle of your chest, or in your stomach. And I want you to ask yourself in that moment, when have I felt this way before? What am I feeling? When have I felt this way before? And breathe into that feeling state and honor that feeling state. And all of a sudden, what you're going to realize is you regain your power. Instead of giving your power away to that person or that situation, claim your power. Claim your story. Claim your emotions. Don't let your past experiences show up in all these different environments and relationships and situations and then feel helpless by it. Just claim it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's your story. It's your power. In the depths of your river, where all those stories and all those experiences may lie, is the foundation to who you are today. And who you are today is a beautiful, amazing, competent person. Don't allow your trauma and don't allow your background and your judgment, your negative judgment of those stories and of those experiences to deny you the amazing person that you are because of those experiences. If it wasn't for those experiences, you wouldn't be who you are. So I don't know how deep your river runs, but don't be afraid to dive down into it and just look around. In fact, I was telling my friend, or as I was telling my coaching student, that just the other day I was just swimming around in some of my old rejection and abandonment stuff, just backstroking off in it. I mean, just like, oh, here we go. It's a sunny day, except this particular day was rainy and cloudy. And I was just backstroking off in some of that stuff. There's no shame in it. There's no shame in what you've gone through. It is a part of you that makes you the beautiful person that you are. So just be okay with it. Just accept it. It's beautiful. It is not bad. It's not painful. So I don't know how deep your rivers run, but don't be afraid to dive down in there. So I hope this is helpful, guys. Remember, in any given situation, we always have 2 choices. We can continue to react from the same imprints of stress, fear, and overwhelm, or we can stop, breathe with me, take 3 to 10 deep breaths, and choose love. And I hope you'll choose love. And I just want to say, God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining me on the Daily Dose. And thank you so much for sharing it with your other friends and family members. And my certified coach was talking about how I needed to change from fear to love, and I just need to make it for, regular parenting. I'm actually working on something similar. So I've got another book's in the works. It's going to be just for parents, period, because we're all just parents trying to do the best we can to raise our children. So thanks for sharing. Thanks for liking. Just think we're at 361. Tomorrow's episode 362. We're almost at 300, and it's actually over that, but I usually only count these specific ones. But we're moving on towards 365 episodes of Post Daily Dose, and you've been with me all along the way. So God bless you. Big Papa loves you. And you guys have an amazing, amazing evening. And remember, breathe in Walmart and breathe in those grocery stores, and don't let that stress get the best of you. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.